Hey family, welcome to another edition of Just My Opinion. I'm a spiritual stud.
And I am MT, baby.
And I'm a little bit under the weather, so forgive my voice. Yeah, my wife and me. So here we are. But we're gonna go ahead and get it going. So I think I'll start today. I wanted to talk about something I heard E.J. Johnson talk about. He was doing Red Table Talk with Jada Pinkett Smith and her daughter Willow and her mother. And his mother, Cookie Johnson, was there. And they were asking him about the things that people would say to him, you know, about how come he was so brave in the responses that he was getting. Because, you know, EJ, he don't have nothing. He wears his skirts, his dresses, his blouses, his whatever. One thing he said, if I see clothes and I feel like they should be on my body, they should be on my body. You know, his face is beat. He don't care. But, excuse me, one thing he said was, coming from our own community, he gets a lot of stuff, you know. Basically, it's almost like envy. And it's because he feels that they are envious because they can't do what he does. Now that's within the LGBTQIA whoever else community. And I can see that because there is a lot of snippy in our community. And of course, if you're out there, you're able to be who you are totally, and your family still loves you, then of course there are going to be some people who are envious, because even though they might be out there and they may be out there doing their thing, but they don't have that family. Or they may want to be out there like that, but they're hidden. You know, because we still have people who on the weekends may play, but during the week they have to be corporate buttoned down.
Yes.
And so they feel like they have to be corporate buttoned down. So of course they're envious and they're going to be backbiting and throwing shade and all that. So to me, I said, you know what? That's really true. I thought about it. Not only that, but then I know I watched Pose. My wife and I kind of binge watched today. And you see it.
Yes.
You see it in the ballroom.
Yes.
Especially. You know, it's just like, and I'm like, you know. So I can imagine for someone like him to have to deal with that. And then not only that, but the guys that he tries to date, are they dating me? Or they want my family? You know, they're trying to get in, get their faces on photograph and all this stuff. He deals with a lot of stuff. But for him and Willow, we know Willow is a little different, and Jaden, who wasn't there, but he's different as well. And like Jada said, when they called and asked Jaden to do that spread for the dresses, and Will was like, no, my son's not gonna do that, you know. But she said, but he wants to. This is who he is.
That's who he is.
He said when he was 3 years old, he was just a sweet baby, and she didn't know how he was going to deal with the world because he was so sweet. And Will's like macho, you know. So it's a lot to go into bringing up kids. And so when I think about that, and I think about the little one running around in my house, and you know, we don't know how long we're gonna keep her, but just the enormity of the responsibility of having that child's life in your hands it is so big. And it kind of hit me this morning, and I was like, oh my God, you know, if we end up having to keep her, that's a big deal. Because you got to look at not only who she is right now, but as she grows, you kind of got to guide her to look at what she's interested in order to guide her. And watching Pose and watching them his daddy beat him and throw him out, and his mother talk about the Bible and smack him, you know, and how do you do me like this? I took up for you, I took your side, and you know, it's like, God, people, they're kids, and you were given a responsibility when you decided to have this child. It wasn't born for you. They have their own personality, and unfortunately, a lot of people don't want to hear it, but we can't live our lives through our kids. You know, that kid has their own life to live. They have their own personality, and Pose just did something to me. And just looking at that little girl in my house, I was like, oh, you know, that's such a big deal. And then listening to them is such a big deal. So I really wanted to start it off with that.
Well, baby. I had the opportunity to be a stepmother, and you know, when the kids are pretty much grown now, but these children who I love, who I've tried to take care of and nurture and foster, and I think of them as now young adults, and seeing them go their way, and I wonder sometimes, okay, was my influence strong enough? Was it I think that's that responsibility factor of, you know, did I do enough? Did I shape and mold them enough to love themselves, to care about themselves, you know, to care about other people?
Right.
It is a huge responsibility. And Pose, baby, if you're not watching it, oh my goodness, it's so deep on so many levels.
Right.
And this show, oh my goodness, the ballroom culture, which I have never competed in a ballroom, but I've been to balls, and I've known many people involved with the whole culture of it. That is a big component of the LGBT community. And I've known of families just like in Pose, where it's a senior LGBT person who opens up their home to the homeless, the cast out, you know, whatever, and says, okay, you're here, you know, but then I'm going to be your parent now. And you must follow my rules now. And try to redirect that soul, that person, to a more accepting life. And within that culture, having, like you said, people who are snippy. But see, it's like I posted something the other day. Some of y'all didn't see that because it was on another. But anyway, that's besides the point. I was listening to this whole immigration madness and the doctors that are coming out and saying that the trauma that people have had to endure being separated from their parents. Well, in our culture, we experience a lot of trauma. A lot of trauma. And, you know, for us, a lot of times there is no healing process. Nobody, you know, as a lesbian, nobody's come to my door, not once, not never. A Christian or either, you know, atheist has never knocked on my door and said, how are you? How can we help you heal? Like, that, you know, the group that we're in now, whosoever, is the closest thing that I've found to healing. And so I'm like, you got all this trauma going on, and then we take a look at these people and their behaviors within our community, and it's like, why do they act like that? Why are they so snippy? Why are they so, you know, throwing shade? And why they can't get along and all this under the rainbow flag? Because we're traumatized people. Like, seriously, even if you have a loving family, just like that young man you were talking about, he still got societal pressures and things that other people don't have to deal with. And there's actual physical and emotional problems that come with being traumatized. And a lot of us, we suck it up.
Yeah.
Because what you gonna do? You gotta go to work, you gotta pay your bills, you ain't got the luxury. If you don't have no money, you can't go to no Club Med and be like, I'm gay, help me.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? There's no recourse for us, there's no help, there's no self-care, there's no loving care to be like, let me reach out to you and see what I can do to help with this trauma.
Right.
That has never happened, and it's never happened for black people out of slavery.
And
so
that's a whole nother show.
We're dealing with residual trauma constantly.
That's down.
And when people can't see that within themselves and don't take account of that within themselves, it's just like with grief. All trauma, grief, loss, all of that. If you have been through anything traumatic and you don't deal with it, you don't counsel through it, you don't get some kind of help with it, it pops up.
Yeah.
It just pops up in random aspects of life.
Yeah.
And I see it in our culture all the time, because you do see somebody coming up who, that one person has that little spark, and they're out and they're proud, and you see them, traveling and going to places and speaking about events, and it ain't even got to be entertainment. It could be some social activist or politician or whatever.
Right.
And then here we are in our community, like crabs in a barrel.
Yeah.
Trying to pull them down because we have not dealt with our own trauma.
Right.
That's where that stems from, know. And it's a sad thing, but that's what we're here to do, with just my opinion, is to address the things that you may not even know. I mean, them doctors was pointing out stuff like heart problems. I'm like, you can have heart problems from, yes, the stress levels, the cortisols, and all that kind of stuff that affects your body when you're stressed out and you can't deal with stuff.
Yeah.
It affects the heart.
Yeah.
It affects your lungs. It affects your depression, anxiety, all these things that people are dealing with, and then it manifests itself in other ways.
Yeah. So
moving right along.
Talk about Mr. Seth Grossman. He is a GOP candidate for New Jersey's 2nd Congressional District. And this dude says diversity is a bunch of crap and un-American. And he wanted to point out how at least the civil wars over in Afghanistan and Syria, Lebanon. And then he's like, they're divided into different groups. They speak different languages. Well, this is the thing. They're divided. Understand, that's not diversity. Division is different than diversity. Diversity is everybody coming together.
Right.
So right there, Mr. Grossman, you're wrong. Your example is stupid, and so is your platform. Secondly, he came up talking about Rutgers women's basketball team. It's mostly African American. Let's see if diversity helps them win more basketball games. And again, you're stupid. Because there are white girls that can play ball.
Yeah.
Plenty of them. Now, just because this team is almost all African American means nothing. It means nothing.
Not only that, it speaks to, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
It just speaks to the fact this is the mindset of the racist.
Yeah.
Y'all can play basketball and you can sing a song. I literally had a lady tell me some stuff like this, a client. Well, I guess since y'all excel in the sports and the music industry, I guess you can cut my hair. That's what she said. I mean, that
makes me like not want to cut your hair. I see.
But yeah, that's the mindset of these people. Is like, yeah, see if that helps you,
Right.
Because that's what y'all good at.
Yeah, but see, this is the thing. You discount people who excel at more than that.
Right.
Because there are more African American business people, professors, doctors, attorneys. There are more of those than there are athletes, professional athletes. So you can jump off that. This is the thing that they want to push, though, because they keep their base riled up like that.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody thinking that Donald Trump won so they can jump on his bandwagon.
Mm-hmm.
And let's push that. The problem I'm having is that I don't think enough Americans are paying attention to what he's trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
Look at who he likes.
Mm-hmm.
Look at them. And look what he's doing to our allies.
Mm-hmm.
Look who he's embracing.
Mm-hmm.
Look what he keeps saying about the news. Pay attention, because what he's trying to do is discredit all news outlets except Fox News, so he can have state-run media. Understand what this dude is trying to do. He wants to become a dictator. That's what he wants. That's who he likes. He wants all power. And if we don't pay attention, this is where we're headed. We've got to be on top of it, people. We gotta vote. Don't sit on your behinds and wait, because the more you wait, like this thing said, you elect a clown, expect a circus. We got a big circus, and it's getting dangerous.
Yes.
It's getting dangerous. They're foreigners over there in the UK. I think it was the UK or Netherlands, somewhere over there, that's saying don't apologize for slavery. Never apologize for slavery. Because see, it's all over the world now. These idiots are all over the world, and they want to have it like they think it used to be. But that can't happen because there's too many different races in too many different places. And for all of you guys who think, you colonizers, who think that you can go back to the way it was, you've already colonized everything. You didn't see this happening. Not you, but your ancestors didn't see this happening. They thought that they get over there colonizing and it would be all good for just the white people. But what has happened is, and for some reason you didn't count on the same God that you say you worship being just as good to these other people that you colonized and took their land and their riches and their wealth for yourselves. You didn't think he would be good enough still to bring them up. You didn't think that there would be enough of them that wanted to be brought up.
Yep.
Did you think because they was just singing? Like I heard I heard a comedian say that if she was a slave, she would have never done what they told her to do. And she said that, she would be like, excuse me, excuse me, excuse me. You see, he ain't trying to hear me. Excuse me, I got something to tell you. They've been reading. Now can I go in the house? And not only that, this is the thing. When they tell you that diversity is not a good thing, basically it's not good for them.
It's not good for them in their minds.
In their minds, because see, like they said, you tell a white man that he's better than a black man. That's all you gotta do. What LBJ say? He'll give you the money from his pocket.
Yeah.
He'll give you his wallet. He'll give you money from his wallet. You know, because you want to be better. Instead of understanding that our strength, America's strength, came from different people getting along, doing it all for America. Now you want to split it. And once you split it, there's no guarantee that the white man gonna come out on top. Y'all don't see that. Y'all don't see that. It's too many of us.
That's what the fear is.
Right. So why don't you get along with us? You're letting your fear drive you into a hole. Get along with us. Because if we start paying attention like we need to and getting along with each other, it's going to be hell to pay if you keep pushing the bear. Keep poking the bear. You don't want to wake that bear up.
No.
It's just like, you guys aren't paying attention well enough. Because trust and believe when I tell you black folks and Mexicans is on top of this, they on top. You might not think it, but they on top of it. Keep on thinking that you got it like that. Keep on thinking. I don't know, you want to say something about that or?
I got so much to talk about. Let's keep going. Let's keep going.
All right. Texas GOP. approved 24 anti-LGBTQ platform planks, including support for the ex-gay therapy at their convention. Now look, they want to take away same-sex marriage. They want to reverse that. They want the Supreme Court to reverse that. They want to, they don't even want to, what's the word I'm looking for? Acknowledge trans.
No,
period.
Matter of fact, that 313, check that bill, that 313 right there. That 313 said, if you even purposely use the wrong pronoun, you will be criminally liable.
So for all the pansexual people out there, you're not going to be able to be called they. They're going to call you he or she. And if you insist on being called they, you can go down.
You go down.
Man, I'm telling you.
It's the most hateful thing I done seen in a while.
Right. And then they wanted to put in there, we recognize, one man and one woman as the biblical foundation for marriage. But they say they took that out because the log cabin Republicans. Well, golly. That's the one thing y'all gave up. When you got 24 other things. And you want counselors to go in and do this ex-gay therapy.
Which has been proven to be harmful and detrimental.
Right. So, okay, moving on. I think that's all I had. Yeah.
Baby.
Alright.
Now, I know we done put her on the A train before.
Okay, who we got?
But I just got to say that God is good all the time. And all the time God is good. And I told you right here on this podcast, honey, my prophecy has come true. That when y'all go after people, just like the people who went after the little gay couple who wanted the cake and all that, I told you right here on this podcast, I said, you just wait. Y'all think that religious freedom means it's all good for y'all. Y'all think religious freedom means I can go out here and be as racist and bigoted and scream and yell at people in Walmart parking lots, and I can call the police on little innocent black kids, and I can just do whatever I want. It's Trump's America. I can do whatever I want. But see, your own bill got you caught up. And now look who's getting harassed and tossed out of restaurants, baby. Oh, Sarah Huckabee. You and your family and friends thought you was gonna go dine in this little restaurant, and the chef called the owner and said, get down here, Sarah Huckabee is in the building. That owner raced down to that restaurant and kicked her out. Her family, her friends, all of them. Get out. We don't like you. We don't like who you work for. Get out.
I didn't see that. I have not seen that.
Oh, baby. It's priceless. Priceless. Now, see, this is the problem. And I appreciate, now this is black Republican that keeps popping up on CSNBC, who keeps, why are you a black Republican? That's a whole nother show. But he had to say himself today that you can't complain. You cannot, if you're a Republican, you better not tweet or nothing about what happened to Sarah Huckabee or the Kristen
Nielsen. Now I heard about that one.
First of all, how you gonna go to a Mexican restaurant?
Right.
What is wrong in your noggin that you want to kick all these Mexicans out the country? Girl, I'd be scared to go to a Mexican restaurant.
I think that their minds don't work like regular people.
Y'all must not listen to no Hispanic comedians, because I done heard it said many a time. It get down to the fields what y'all say and what y'all do, and you wonder where salmonella and some of this other Ebola. When they're wiping their butts with ears of corn because they know it's coming directly to the White House, you might want to rethink some things. But honey, cosmic justice.
It's
Sarah Huckabee and her whole family tossed out of that restaurant. Get out of here. Because and this is what y'all did. Y'all did it. I kept trying to tell you. I told told you, and I told you, and I said, the atheist is on this. The Satanist is on this. The Satanists got lawyers, baby. They got lawyers, and they're saying they don't want this Christian religious freedom act and all this kind of stuff, separation of church and state.
Yeah.
They're already on it. The atheist, the agnostic. It's a commercial I see almost every time I watch MSNBC that says we want church separation of church and state, and they got the hotline number listed right at the bottom so you can call and join their cause, because these people are on it, and it's going to backfire on you. And my homegirl, oh, come on now. My homegirl, Auntie Maxine, was on the news this morning talking about there won't be no place y'all can go. She said it, and I'm right with her. Auntie Maxine said, yeah, you think it's bad now? You're getting shouted out of Mexican restaurants and going out to eat. Wait till you gotta go shop for toilet paper. And the people in the store is like, shame. You're gonna be just like on Game of Thrones when they done marched Cersei's naked behind out of there and was throwing food at her and everything else. Shame. Now look, you can have a voice. You still got your amendments, so you can speak out, free speech and all that, but you are responsible for that free speech. And I don't know why y'all can't get it through your thick skulls. Just like old Water Peppermint Patty out here done called the police on the baby selling water. Y'all seen that on Facebook. Stop playing. She called the police on the baby, 8 years old, for selling water. Okay? They done ripped her all over Facebook. You are an instant meme. So, yeah, you can say what you want. This is underneath 45's administration. But guess what? What you can't do is, if you broke, you ain't got enough lawyers, you ain't got enough attorneys, you ain't got enough people on your side that can keep you from being disgraced publicly because you have those views. This is what it's come down to. I told you it was going to happen, and it happened. And I have to say, I did get my 7 chuckles in when I saw that she got tossed out of the restaurant. Sarah Huckabee, we done put her on the A train to hell at least twice. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Oh, it was hilarious, baby. The whole morning, just like, yes.
Well, now.
Yes, that's what happened.
Now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm reading that Red Hen restaurant in Virginia.
In Virginia.
Where Trump won overwhelmingly, but in this little community, he lost.
Mm-hmm.
And several of the employees are gay.
Mm-hmm.
And they knew that she had defended his desire to bar transgender people from the military.
Mm-hmm.
And they all watched her evade questions and defend that policy of separating their children from their parents.
Can't run.
You can't hide. Y'all.
Judgment Day is coming, baby. And you think, this is the thing. You know how the internet is. Stuff spread like wildfire. Now, let me tell you something. If you just happen to be in Walgreens and see a senator or
I'm sorry.
or some political figure that you disagree with, I do not encourage that you yell at them and scream at them. But if it's your First Amendment right to say how you feel, they can say how they feel with no consequences. We can say how we feel. Okay? And so, hey, I'm just letting you know. That's what's out there. Now, so the last thing I want to talk about is immigration. Now, I can't go deep on this because I don't have enough time or memory or none of that to try to recall to y'all the mess that we are in currently in America. Because this immigration stuff is so messed up and convoluted. It would take me a whole month and a PowerPoint presentation to try to figure all this out. So let me break it down to you. Under previous administrations, Bush, Obama, there was a law that said if you come to the country and you're not legal, we're going to take you and put you in court and we're going to charge you with a misdemeanor, and then we're going to figure out from there what to do with you. Depending on what you plead and depending on why you come in here, we're going to evaluate and see why you're here. Why do you want to come here? You know, basic stuff. There was a law that said we can detain and separate you from your children, but not one person has enforced that law. Not one. Until 45. Okay? So, him and Granny, aka Jeff Sessions, done got together and decided that they want he look just like little glasses, little beady eyes. So they decided to get together and enforce the law so that he can create this whole mess to distract you from the truth of what's really going on around the world. But that's a whole nother show. Stay focused on immigration. So they decided to enforce it. But as usual, 45 and the rest of his cronies don't know what they're doing, don't have a plan of action or anything like that. So they just called and said, hey, this is what we're doing now. Wasn't no plans on how to get these babies back to their parents or what's going to happen to the parents or do we deport them. It wasn't nothing. It was just like, we want to separate families. Out of nowhere. Okay. So now, what happened was he had to call up his buddies, them old tent city makers, and them old people that run Homeland Security, and the rest of them was like, make room, because here come the kids. They was not prepared. They was not ready. They didn't know how to handle the situation, and they just started taking kids away and then lying to the parents, telling them, oh, we're going to take your kids so they can get cleaned up and get a bath. Oh, we're going to go take your kids so we can get something to eat and get a snack. Lying to the parents in some cases and letting them know, okay, well, you know, not even letting them know that they were separating them from the children. Okay, so fast forward. So now we got kids spread out all over the United States. They said there might be some kids right here in Kansas that came from the border. Is they in Michigan? They in New York? They just everywhere. They done spread the kids everywhere they could place the kids. Hopefully the kids is getting some kind of care in some kind of facility or foster parent. The kid today ran away. He was like, forget this, I'm out of here. I'll find my own damn way back to my own parents and my own country. And they think the kid is in Mexico. I'm like, you can't tell me these babies ain't resourceful, okay? He was like, I'm out of here. I ain't trying to stay here. And then they got the nerve to say, well, it's not prison. We can't legally keep them here.
Really? But you got them in cages.
But so if you take a 3-year-old. I've been around toddlers.
I got a 2-year-old in my house right now.
Jesus, take all the wheels. You got the babies, and what are you supposed to do with them? Now you got to try to reunite them with the parents. They ain't got no plan for that whatsoever.
No.
But in the meantime, in between time, I want you to take a wild guess about who is benefiting from Russian mothers who come to America to have anchor babies. I'll give you about 4 seconds to figure it out.
You need a clue. That color right there.
I'm sorry. Okay, so 45, Trump, his family are benefiting because there is a whole campaign going on in Russia. You can Google it. I'm telling you the truth. There got advertisements in Russia that says, would you like your child to be a U.S. Citizen? Come visit America. while you're 8.5 months pregnant. Stay for a month, have a baby. Now you got an anchor baby. Now you just wait till the child's 21, and all you got to do is have that child say they are helping you out. You come here back and forth all you want. Staying in Trump hotels and in Trump condos. If you're wealthy enough, if you're rich enough, you can come have an anchor baby over here. But, they're Russian. So,
he likes them.
And anybody trying to, whether they're here legally or not.
Right. Doesn't matter.
Trying to take their Russian babies.
No.
Trying to separate them from their families and kids.
No.
And that's why people got to open their eyes. I'm so sick and tired of trying to defend myself against everything else that's going on in the world. When, I had a literal post today, on a friend's post who said, yeah, I voted for Donald Trump, and just because he endorses people who are racist, that doesn't mean I like everything that they do and he does, and that doesn't mean I'm a racist. I'm really tired of this. I'm so tired of this because I'd rather you just say it.
You're not separating.
Just say it. If your ideas in your head about brown people is different than the ideas in your head about non-brown people, you might be a racist, baby. If your ideas in your head align with those of 45, something's wrong with you. Like, something's seriously wrong with you. And you can't just keep saying, I'm not a racist. I gave you just a perfect example. Now, if I was on Fox, I just expect them to spin to come in less than 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. They can spin it any direction they want. And that's what they do. They just spin whatever he says into a whole nother thing. But the fact of the matter is, nobody cares about the Russian babies coming to America. Nobody's trying to separate them from their families. But we got all these brown poor people on the border, and it's okay because they're lawbreakers. I thought you didn't want anchor babies. I thought you wanted to have merit-based immigration.
Well, we know Melania didn't come over here on merit-based. I'm just saying. She got a visa that's meant for engineers and developers, software developers, and those kinds of people. Her merit was that she was a model, which they said there was a loophole that models use to get over here. So,
but I thought he was draining the swamp and the loopholes. And speaking of the swamp, one more thing. Another thing I saw today, and this is just, my people, you got to pay attention. They interviewed these people down in the Louisiana swamps. These are people who go out there and get the crawfish. And they was down there talking to them because they were all Trump supporters, the people they talked to. And the people are complaining because the EPA administrator, ain't it Scott Pruitt?
yeah.
All right, Scott Pruitt did not do what he said he was going to do and help the people down there in Louisiana swamps to get the water flowing properly so that they can collect these little crawfish. So now the crawfish people can collect, they said they're collecting 20 to 30% of what they used to collect because of the environment is not right. They need to fix the pipelines and fix the soil and fix this stuff. Do you think
He's not going to do
cares?
it. He's not going to do it.
He's still eating in the diner where the military people are at. They done told his ass not to even come in there no more. He ain't worried about no swamp person down in Louisiana.
They trying to erase everything. They ain't trying to help anything.
So when you can't get your crawfish,
Yeah, I still support this.
And you still supporting them.
You
talking
still
about,
support him.
and they asked them, what would it take for them to make it right for you? And they said, well, he's got to fix what we need so that the water can flow properly. Okay, that would help. That's not gonna happen.
That's
it's
not
not
gonna
gonna happen.
Mm.
Not while 45 is elected. It's not gonna happen.
No.
So they asked him, well, what could the Democrats do for you? Well, they could come down here and listen to us. That's what the man said. He said they could come down and listen to him because he doesn't think anybody's listening from the government.
Well, I hate to tell y'all, but 45 put in place folks that didn't like certain departments within the government. Scott Pruitt does not care about the environment, which is why he's head of the environment. Understand this. Betsy DeVos does not like public education, which is why she's head of the board. What is it? Education, and now they want to merge labor and education, and they want to take food stamps away from the agricultural department and move it over somewhere that has nothing to do with the farmers to hurt the farmers. You guys who have put this fool in place signed your own death warrants. You signed it.
What about Ben Carson? He don't know nothing about HUD. It's like Trevor Noah said. It's like he Googled opposite of and put everybody in place.
Right, and he wants to take away all the public housing. Dude, really? These are the things that y'all don't understand, but y'all elected this man. And you still, the only reason you still approve of him is because he don't like people of color. And he's making you fear people of color while he's doing you. While he's doing you. He's still drawing the same old people, saying the same old stuff, blaming Democrats for crap that he's doing. And y'all just sitting up there sucking it up. And you guys are bearing the burden of it all. It's like, really, black folks ain't really hurting that bad, because we've been where we, you know what I'm saying? We know. But y'all, you guys actually believe this dude, and you still sit here, and you still go there, and you still have hope in the great clown 45. You know, I wouldn't doubt if we had some dossiers on us. Just saying.
My life was an open book.
But this is the thing. I got one thing left to say. On Fox News, they had this woman talking about the places where the kids were staying. Did you hear what she said?
Yeah, I did hear that. It's better
so great that even the African Americans would say it's better than the projects that we grew up in.
First of all, that's a lie. Because that's a lie. First of all, that's just a lie. She said the African Americans that she's talked to. First of all, I don't believe you ever talked to any African Americans.
No.
Except for maybe get my coffee or something like that. Like I don't believe that those are conversations that you really had.
And not one that grew up in a project. No, I'm sorry.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm sorry.
Hello, right?
No.
My last thought is this. I'm going to tell you who does care about you. First of all, God.
Yep.
Okay? Your higher power, the source of all things that is good, cares. We keep looking to politicians to fix this, that, and the other. Y'all need to start looking into your higher authority than 45.
Right.
Not saying that don't mean for y'all religious folk, I'm just gonna pray about it and see what happens. No, we still gotta get in the trenches and fight.
Right.
But I'm just saying, I'm gonna tell you who does care about you. Who cares about your water issue? Which cares about the environment? Which cares about what people are hurting and going through? And cares about babies being separated from their parents. I'm going to tell you who does care. Higher power. Okay? And not only that, especially when it comes to the environment, the
Right.
Native Americans have been preaching since people came to the country that we must protect the environment.
Right.
They were saying it ever since the beginning of time. They was out there trying to protect.
Living it.
They were living it. They are living it.
Yep.
They were trying to protect the pipelines from being dug.
Yep.
And what did y'all do?
Soon as Obama got out of office. Soon
as they sent them police down there and whatnot to remove the water protectors. So, you know, this is where we are. Those were the people who cared.
Yeah.
But you shoved them to the back of the
Right.
for your own selfish gain.
Right.
For let me tell you what 45 has accomplished. Making his buddies rich, and he put a little drop in the bucket for y'all. Little tax returns.
Yeah, little $2,000.
His little
If
something
you got
for y'all.
if you got that.
And yeah, you know,
And you won't get it again. They gonna keep getting
they're
theirs.
gonna keep getting theirs.
Theirs is permanent.
Set.
Ours was temporary. Trust me.
But I want you to start paying attention to who cares and who doesn't care.
Yeah.
And I want you to take up the good fight, because we all must do that. And like I said, this religious freedom thing and all this stuff they're trying to pass, it is backfired, and it's going to continue backfiring on you. I said it and I meant it, because it's going to come a time when your values are going to be so great, and your ethics and your morality will not let you deal with these folk no more. And then what's gonna happen? They're gonna be more folk kicked out of restaurants, hardware stores, Walmarts, Targets, you name it. Okay.
You name it.
So it's your choice.
Well, we covered a lot. We did. And if you guys got comments, please do. Appreciate you. Once again, we should give a shout out to whosoever.
Yes.
Pastor D. Keep fighting the good fight, Pastor.
Thank you.
It gets hard sometimes, I know. But we right there. We got your back. Sometimes I'm sick. Can't make it to everything, but you know, I understand. We understand. Keep doing what you're doing, and you know, take that break when you need it.
Yes.
Get your rest. First Lady Lee, you know, you right there with her. We support you. All right. So, anything else?
Oh, just so people know, you can reach out to whosoever, which is a community of faith. Faith stands for Finding Answers in the Hurt. This is a part of a group that we belong to that is really challenging to help people restore from the hurt and the trauma. And in a church-like setting, but
Right.
it's not church.
Right.
So we just want to, you know, we always try to plug and shout out. We always try to shout out Chuck. Our
Chuck.
number one homie, Chuck. Chuck writes for the KC Exposures and his Chuck Chat, baby. They will give you life. You need to read that.
Read it. It's the KC Pride Radio.
Yep.
Check it out on Facebook.
Yep.
Thanks, KC.
Yes, thank you very much.
All right, so for just my opinion, I am the Spiritual Stud,
And I am MT, baby.
and we's out of here. Peace.
Peace.